One of the Labor Party's most influential power brokers has abruptly quit politics without telling anyone. Stephen Conroy ended 20 years in Parliament by tabling a speech in a late-night sitting. Labor's deputy leader in the Senate says he's leaving to spend time with his family, but it took hours for Bill Shorten and his acting leader to hear that he'd quit. Here's National Affairs correspondent Greg Jennett.
And as it is very late...
Blink and you'd miss it. Everyone seemed to.
With leave, table the rest of my contributions so we can move on.
Stephen Conroy had already moved on, checked out without saying a word. Instead, he'd written some in a 4-page farewell to 2 decades in Parliament.
But it's certainly daunting following in the footsteps of Gareth Evans.
The Victorian right-winger had been schooled in power, but came to Canberra when it couldn't be used, in opposition. Within years, Stephen Conroy was wielding it, along with friends Stephen Smith and Wayne Swan. They became Labor's Roosters.
Hit it.
From leader to leader, he drove the NBN, which, despite design changes, he calls his greatest contribution.
Stephen Conroy understood what was needed to bring Australia into the 21st century.
Anthony Albanese had spoken to his mate about his silent resignation.
But I'm not Stephen Conroy.
His acting leader was not as fortunate.
Leaving.
Stephen Conroy's just resigned.
I'm sorry, I thought you said leading the Senate. I have only just heard of these reports, so I'll be having more discussions with Stephen later in the day.
Stephen Conroy would have told her what he told the Senate in his undelivered speech, that when you resent being in Canberra because you're missing your daughter's soccer training, it is time to retire from the federal parliament, and it must be time to say farewell. The ABC's been told Senator Conroy chose not to deliver his speech because he thought emotion would overwhelm him, and that he tried to make contact with Bill Shorten overseas but couldn't, all of which makes for a departure that's odd, secretive and very Stephen Conroy. A replacement senator will be anointed, a shadow ministry reshuffle's coming, as is a vacuum in Bill Shorten's Victorian power base.
I feel very sad about his going and a sense that he is irreplaceable. But we will move forward, there's no question of that.
I notice Senator Conroy is now moving to Conrovia, it would seem.
That's as close to a public farewell as the veteran senator gets. Greg Jennett, ABC News, Canberra.